This person was on a camping trip in a remote forest and decided to set up a trail camera to see if any wildlife would pass through during the night. The camera quietly recorded the area for hours. The next morning, he checked the footage, and to his shock, it hadn't just captured wildlife. Near a tree, there appeared to be a girl in a long white dress standing in the distance, watching his tent. The girl seemed completely out of place in such a remote area. The way she was dressed, and the late hour she appeared, left the man wondering who she was and what she was doing out there alone. Could she have been lost, or perhaps in need of help? On October 25th, 2025, a trail camera in a wooded area north of Carthage, Missouri, captured an unexpected visitor. The image showed a man walking across private property while carrying what appeared to be a weapon. After reviewing the photo, the property owner contacted authorities. The man was later identified as 37-year-old Justin Wayne Thomas. During an interview with detectives, Thomas reportedly admitted that he knew he wasn't allowed on the property. Investigators also determined that the weapon seen in the photo was actually a BB gun. Following the investigation, Thomas was charged with first-degree trespassing and taken into custody. And honestly, even if it turned out to be a BB gun, discovering an armed stranger walking across your property would leave most people feeling uneasy and unsafe, especially because the homeowner had no way of knowing why he was there or what his intentions were. Last month, 31-year-old Brittany Clark was hiking with her boyfriend and friends at a state forest outside Orlando, Florida. After the hike, the group stopped to cool off in the Occoquan-Lockhatchee River. According to officials, the water was only about 3 feet deep. They were swimming with their dogs when, without warning, something truly horrifying happened. A large alligator attacked Brittany. Her boyfriend immediately tried to pull her away from the animal while friends called 911. The emergency call captured the chaos as those around her desperately tried to help. First responders rushed to the scene, but Brittany had suffered catastrophic injuries. According to authorities, she passed away while being transported to the hospital. Following the attack, wildlife officials captured 2 large alligators from the area as part of the investigation. The attack occurred in a natural section of the river where there were no designated swimming areas, and warning signs about alligator activity had reportedly been posted nearby. Although serious alligator attacks are rare, the tragedy serves as a reminder that any freshwater body in Florida may contain alligators, even water that appears calm and shallow. And most importantly, our thoughts are with Brittany's family, friends, and loved ones as they continue to cope with this heartbreaking loss. A person placed a trail camera outside their home near the edge of the woods. Most nights, it captured nothing unusual, but one night it recorded something unsettling. Standing among the trees was what appeared to be a small childlike figure with a pale appearance. The eyes seemed to glow as it faced directly toward the camera. Some suggested it may have been an animal or even an object caught at an unusual angle, with the camera's infrared lighting creating a misleading image. Others weren't convinced. The homeowner later checked the area in daylight, but found no sign of anyone. Whatever appeared on the trail camera that night, it was gone by morning. So what do you think was standing among those trees? A man from Petropolis, Brazil, was testing the camera on his new smartphone during a daytime walk in September 2012 when he captured something he couldn't explain. The footage appears to show a translucent humanoid-shaped figure crossing a dirt road before disappearing into the surrounding vegetation. Startled by what he had seen, he turned around and left without investigating further. What makes the clip unusual is that it was recorded in broad daylight, rather than at night, like many alleged paranormal sightings. Some viewers believe the footage shows an unknown entity. Even after analyzing the footage and applying different filters in an attempt to reveal details, I couldn't identify anything that helped explain what exactly was crossing that road. Interestingly, the man also claimed that the forest suddenly went silent during the encounter, a detail that only added to the mystery of who, or what, was walking across the road that day. Unfortunately, the video never provides a clear answer. During a camping trip in the woods, this couple set up a trail camera. Nothing unusual happened during the night, and the next morning they reviewed the footage. But what they saw left them deeply unsettled. The photo appears to show a thin humanoid figure walking away from the camera. Its posture is slightly hunched, with unusually thin legs and a narrow frame. Unfortunately, the figure is facing away, making it impossible to identify any defining features. It could simply be a person caught at an unusual angle, but the thought that someone, or something, was wandering around their campsite that night might be the most disturbing part of all. A man was checking his camera at night when he noticed something he hadn't seen in the moment. For just a brief second, what appeared to be a woman could be seen standing in the darkness. Almost as quickly as she appeared, she was gone. With only a few seconds of footage, there was no way to know for certain, but one thing was clear. To him, it felt like something supernatural. A person set up a trail camera in a forest to capture wildlife. Most nights it recorded nothing more than ordinary animals passing through, but one image stood out. Partially hidden behind a tree was what appeared to be a humanoid figure peeking toward the camera. The shape looked upright, with what seemed to be a head and shoulders visible from behind the trunk. It could simply be a person, but the head looks a little off. The frustrating part is, without any additional photos or footage, there's no way to know what the trail camera really captured that night. In January 2026, two fishermen had stopped their boat on Brazil's Rio Negro in a remote part of the river to refuel when they suddenly heard screams echoing across the water. Moments later, they spotted a woman partially submerged in the river. She appeared to be screaming and talking to herself, yet never acknowledged the boat or called for help. According to those familiar with the area, there were no nearby homes, making her presence even more difficult to explain. No confirmed information about the woman's identity or what happened to her afterward has ever been released. So who was that woman? In July 2025, Facebook user Doug Mackey shared a trail camera photo. At first glance, it looks like an ordinary image of two deer standing in the forest. But then you notice the deer in the background. Its neck appears to be twisted at an impossible angle, giving it an almost unnatural appearance. Doug insisted the image wasn't edited, leaving many people wondering what exactly had happened. Some believed the deer was simply caught mid-motion. Let's hope that's all it was, because otherwise, things don't look very good for that deer. A trail camera set up deep in the woods captured something unusual during the night. In one of the images, what appears to be a woman wearing a long white dress can be seen casually walking past the camera. Some believe it could simply be a person wandering through the woods after dark, but that seems strange for a place so remote, especially dressed like that. Others think the figure resembles the classic image of a ghostly bride often described in local legends. Whatever the explanation, a lone figure dressed in white walking through a remote forest at night is strange and creepy either way. A trail camera deep in the woods captured some interesting footage, and I need your opinion on this. It shows a small, hairy creature standing upright in front of the camera. It's not human-sized, but it also doesn't resemble any familiar animal. Some initially suggested it was a raccoon, but it doesn't really move like one, does it? If you see something I can't, let me know. In 2019, a trail camera set up in the woods captured a disturbing image during the daytime. Partially emerging from thick bushes was what appeared to be a man without clothing, seemingly holding something in his left hand. With only a single image available, there's no way to know who the person was or why they were there. Some believe it was simply someone wandering through the forest, but the person's appearance and the remote location where it was captured made the image feel especially unsettling. Whatever the explanation, it's not the kind of thing you'd expect a trail camera to photograph deep in the woods, and hopefully, nothing sinister was taking place. On December 31st, 2025, a trail camera captured a strange image deep in the woods late at night. Standing in the middle of the frame was a pale, blurry figure with what appeared to be a human-like shape. What caught people's attention was its unusual appearance. The figure seemed almost translucent, making it difficult to tell exactly what the camera had captured. According to the person who shared the image, the camera was located on private property in a very remote area of the woods. Some suggested it could have been a person moving through the frame, with the trail camera creating a ghost-like effect due to motion or exposure. Others questioned why anyone would be walking through such a secluded location late at night. Unfortunately, without additional photos or footage, who or what was out there remains a mystery. A trail camera in Yosemite National Park captured 2 mountain lions following a lone camper along a remote trail. At first, it looked like the big cats were stalking him. Park rangers identified the camper and checked on him, fearing the worst. But when they arrived, the lions weren't acting like predators. Instead, they were calmly resting on a rocky ledge above the campsite, quietly watching from a distance. After checking the lions' tracking information, researchers found that both had recently lost a cub. Some experts believe the pair may have mistaken the camper for a young, vulnerable mountain lion rather than prey. While the exact reason for their behavior can never be known, the encounter offered a rare glimpse into just how complex mountain lion behavior can be. A couple was enjoying a boat ride on a lake in the United States when they spotted something enormous in the water. As they drifted between the flooded trees, a massive alligator slowly came into view just a short distance from their small boat. Seeing an alligator that size up close isn't exactly the most relaxing feeling. When a trail camera owner checked their footage from an extremely isolated location deep in the forest, they captured something they never expected. The photo appears to show a person sprinting through the woods at full speed. What's unsettling is that nothing else is visible around them, just one person running through the forest in the middle of the night. How did this person manage to run through a forest so dark without being able to see anything? And how did they even get there? Nothing else was captured in the following footage, so there doesn't appear to be anyone chasing them, or anything they could have been running from. The owner never found any answers. A Nepalese woman was hiking through a remote forest. As she walked deeper into the trail, she noticed the forest had gone completely silent. No birds, no insects, nothing. While recording the eerie silence on her phone, she later noticed something behind her on the trail.
What is that?
Frightened, she quickly left the area, believing something had been watching her from a distance. But it's hard to tell if it was actually something scary or not. It literally could have been anything. A strange piece of security footage was reportedly captured on a farm in Peru. The clip appears to show someone sitting in a field near a well. But moments later, the figure stands up and seems to distort into what looks like a dark column of mist before moving toward the well. With no verified background information, it's impossible to know what actually happened. How can you explain this? Reddit user Dennis254 shared a tense encounter with a massive bull moose. The video shows the animal standing its ground, while the man tries to keep it calm from only a short distance away. For a few moments, neither of them moves. Then, without much warning, the bull moose suddenly charges. Fortunately, the encounter ends without anyone being seriously injured. In 2004, researchers investigating Skinwalker Ranch recorded footage that wasn't considered unusual at the time. Years later, while reviewing the video frame by frame, they noticed something they had completely missed. For a brief moment, an unexplained shape appears within the marked area before seemingly fading back out. It doesn't clearly resemble anything we know. Some believe it could be one of the strangest pieces of paranormal evidence ever recorded at the ranch. Others think it's simply a camera artifact or visual anomaly. Whatever briefly appeared that day has never been fully explained. A Facebook user was reviewing footage from a trail camera when they noticed something unusual. Right in the middle of the clip, a large dark figure suddenly races across the camera. The movement is so fast that it's almost impossible to tell what it is, even after replaying the footage. Some believed it was a large feral hog or wild boar. Some suggested a black cougar, while a few even said that it could be a dogman or chupacabra. With only a split-second glimpse and poor nighttime footage, there's no way to know for sure. What do you think? A group of tourists visiting Bwindi Impenetrable National Park in Uganda experienced a moment they'll never forget. During a gorilla trekking tour, a large black-back gorilla calmly walked straight toward the group. Instead of panicking, everyone stayed completely still as the gorilla casually passed within arm's reach. Park guides normally instruct visitors to keep at least 10 meters away from the animals, but gorillas sometimes choose to approach on their own. In those moments, visitors are told to crouch down, stay calm, and avoid making eye contact or sudden movements. Thankfully, the encounter ended peacefully, giving the tourists an incredibly rare and terrifying experience. A hunter heard strange screeching noises before noticing what appeared to be a figure blending into the surrounding crops. The shape was difficult to make out, almost as if it was camouflaged against the vegetation. It could simply be a wild boar or another animal partially hidden in the field, but the hunter claimed it wasn't anything like that, while also admitting he couldn't really explain what he was seeing. Unfortunately, the video was never clear enough to identify what the hunter actually saw. Facebook user Mary Glenn shared a trail camera photo that quickly sparked debate. The image appears to show a large, furry figure walking past the camera. According to Mary Glenn, the camera was located near the center of a roughly 1,000-acre property. She also noted that the land is closely monitored by family members, and they didn't recognize the figure or have any reason to believe someone was supposed to be there. What made the image even more intriguing was that out of numerous cameras placed around the property, the figure only reportedly appeared on this one. After the photo was shared, some people attempted to sharpen the image. The enhanced versions appear to show fur and what some described as a strange ape-like face. Others argued it could simply be a person wearing a ghillie suit or heavy camouflage clothing. A person spotted an unusually large bird perched on a fence and decided to start recording. Its size immediately stood out, appearing much larger than a typical hawk or owl. But it wasn't just the size that caught people's attention. Many pointed to its face, saying its forward-facing eyes and expression looked strangely human. Some believe it's Mothman, but I think this might just be AI. Martha Renee Brown, a 60-year-old hiker from North Carolina, was hiking a section of the Appalachian Trail near Kent, Connecticut in May 2023. She had been traveling with two friends when they stopped for the night at a campsite along the trail. But the next morning, something was wrong. Her companions realized Martha had disappeared during the night. Even stranger, she had left behind her phone and hiking gear at the campsite. Concern quickly grew as authorities launched a large-scale search operation across remote sections of the Appalachian Trail. Ground crews, helicopters, drones, ATVs, and volunteer firefighters all searched the heavily wooded terrain trying to locate her. Officials believed she may have wandered into a remote part of the trail and become lost. Days passed with no sign of her. Then, finally, Marta encountered other hikers on the trail several miles south of where she had last been seen. Using one of their phones, she was able to call 911 for help. Authorities later confirmed she'd been found alive and was taken into emergency care. Thankfully, the story ended safely. But many people were still left wondering how an experienced hiker could suddenly vanish from a campsite in the middle of the night without taking any of her gear with her. A woman was out walking her dog in Florida's Jennings State Forest when her routine morning hike suddenly turned into a nightmare. According to the Clay County Sheriff's Office, a man grabbed her along the trail. She managed to break free, and her dog scared the attacker off before he could do anything worse. Deputies searched the area for hours using canine units, but were unable to find the suspect. Authorities urged anyone who was in the area that morning to come forward with information. What would have happened if she didn't break free? Now, let's watch the next video together and see what else these trail cameras managed to capture.